Mostly. All right. So right now it's live. So mostly the ones that are gonna be on the live show are like Filipino bookworms or readers, and they've read the book with me for the past few weeks. So I'm so excited to share
Cool. That's so
also
cool.
their thoughts and see their thoughts about this. So anyway, we are live. Hello, everybody. So we're just gonna wait for some people to come in the live. But if you're watching this on replay, hello. This is Kat of her bookish side, and tonight we have the ninth discussion of In Cosmic Dreams, and we are going to discuss The Girl and the Ghost by Hannah ALKAF. And I have here a special guest co-host, and I am so happy that she agreed to this live show.
I'm so
Would you
excited.
like to introduce yourself first, Misha,
Alright.
or whichever name you want to be preferred on, like Michiko or Misha? Go ahead.
Hi everyone. You can call me Misha. Michiko is actually a nickname that my
Mm-hmm.
parents had given me when I was born because apparently when I was born I looked really Japanese. So they gave me the name Michiko for fun. So I kind of like grew up
Oh,
with the name Michiko. So that's hence the name Michiko reads. But yeah, you can call me Misha. I am 18. I'm turning 19 in a few months. I am from Malaysia. I am currently undergoing my degree in psychology, but I
mm-hmm.
also read a lot, and I am also an author, a published author. That I
Wow.
yeah, I wrote a poetry book that released back in February, and I'm currently writing a novel, and I'm planning to publish it soon. Not sure when yet, but we'll see. But
Oh,
yeah,
perfect. Wow. So that is why you're telling me that you were like writing in the past few weeks and you have
yeah,
to get the reading somehow. So
I
hi.
when you told me about when you asked me that am I able to finish the book before the streaming today, and I'm like I think I can finish it in time, but I've been so busy writing because I've been just focusing on that. I haven't been reading a lot this past few weeks, but
Mm-hmm.
I managed to finish The Girl and the Ghost in like 2 days
Yeah.
to get
Perfect.
to get myself ready for today's event. So yeah.
Yeah. So, actually, I was I'm kind of hesitant to ask you because I've watched a few of your videos and I don't know if you read middle grade books. And then I found out that you like romance. So I was like hesitant. Will she agree? Is she gonna agree with this? Because this is this is middle grade. But thank you so much for agreeing. Anyway, hello to our viewers. We have here Jahans, and then we
Hi.
have
Oh,
uh
hi. That's my friend. I know.
hi. Is that your friend?
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for tuning in.
Hello.
This one is my friend Trish from
Hi,
Trisha
Chris.
Paper.
Oh,
So yeah. So basically for tonight we're just gonna discuss the book, like the elements of the book and then things that we like, things that we dislike. So on the first part of the discussion we're gonna do non-spoilers. So we are going to try to encourage the audience to read the book if
right.
they haven't yet. And then
Mm.
on the last half would be the spoilery part wherein we're going to discuss the plot twist, which actually really
Oh,
surprised me.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm so
Yes.
excited to get to that part. To get to that part. Oh my god. But anyway, all our links and socials, Misha's socials and my socials are on the description box. If you want, you can go ahead and check out Misha's booktube channel. It's gonna be linked down below, or it's already there on the description box. Also, her Instagram, Twitter, and everything else. So yeah, please do go ahead and check this out. This one is my friend as well from the Philippines, Elena of the Queen Reads.
Hi.
Hello, thank you
Hello.
for being here. We are so excited to discuss this. So anyway, let's talk first. What does or what's the synopsis or what's the overview of The Girl and the Ghost? Would you like to do the honors, Misha, to explain a
Sure.
little bit what is it about?
Okay, how do I explain it without spoiling it? Okay, so it's basically about this this ghost whose name will be revealed at the end of the book. But
Mm-hmm.
basically, it's about this ghost who has been a companion to this witch, and the witch. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but anyway, so the witch died, and and
Yeah, you're allowed. You're allowed to.
yeah, and the ghost then had to go and find its heir because
Mm-hmm.
the witch would. Sorry, the ghost had to find the witch's heir to continue the bloodline and something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so the ghost met Suraya, who lives in, I forgot where she lives, but she lives in a kampong area. So
Mm-hmm.
kampong is like a village area. So
Mm-hmm.
she lives in a kampong with her mom. Her dad passed away, and Suraya named the ghost Pink after her favorite color. And Pink sort of like grew up with Suraya. He protected Suraya and basically just, that's his role as, because Suraya is his new master. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, the story is about there's so much elements about friendship in this book, friendship, and basically just coming out of age, from being a little girl to growing up to become a teenager and finding new
Mm-hmm.
friends and um, found family and stuff like that. So basically, yeah, it's about the girl and the ghost, Suraya, and
Pink.
I hope I did a
Yeah,
good job.
that I think that's perfect. So again, it's a middle grade book, but it will start when Saraya was still around 5 years old, I think, during the time that her grandmother has died, and then it will progress until she was 12 or 11 years old, so somewhere there. But it was a really fun experience. So we have a few other people on the comment section. Elena said that she really loved the book, and I'm so glad because when I finished it, I was like, I said to my friends, you have to read this book. It made me cry. I cried
Oh,
so
yeah.
I cried so much. So that's why. So this is my cousin. Hello, Jacko. He's
Hi,
watching.
hello.
He's
Hi.
11, 12 years old.
Oh, wow,
Ele-
that's cool.
Found family trope.
Oh, yes.
Ha! Yes. Hello,
Hello.
Moe. Again, these
Hi.
are Filipino readers. So yes.
Hi. It's so
Hello.
cool. Thank you for being here. I don't have a lot of friends. I mean, I have friends internationally, but not like, when everybody comes together and discuss about a book, because I've never participated in anything like this before. So this is my first
Mm-hmm.
time. It's actually very
Yay!
exciting. Yeah, me
Thank
too. It's so
you.
cool.
Thank you again. When you said that this was gonna be your first time, I was like so excited for you. So, usually what we do here in the Philippines, we have a few book clubs, unlike in the U.S. or in the Western. Like, there's a lot of
Right.
like book clubs and live shows there. So we here in the Philippines, we have quite a few. So we try to encourage other Filipino readers to read the book as well, and then go into a live discussion. So
That's so
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So if
That's
you
cool.
have any like for example in the future you're going to do a live show or whatever, you can definitely message me, and then I'm gonna force them to join the
What if
live
our
show.
friends read the same book? That's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. No, just kidding. Yeah, she cried as well. All right, Kate is also here.
Hi.
Uh, Also a friend from the Philippines.
Mm.
She is the one who tweeted earlier on Twitter.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Misha, this is
Aw,
for you. We're your friends now.
thank you.
Yeah,
That's so sweet.
welcome to the club.
I feel so welcomed here. I love it.
So yeah, anyway, so we also would like to know if you guys have read the book. So if you are watching, for the audience, if you've read it, you can put a girl emoji, the girl emoji in on
Yeah.
your phone. And if you haven't yet, you can put ghost emoji, so we will know if how spoilery we can get in
Right.
this discussion
Yeah.
later on. So yeah, girl, if you put a girl emoji if you've read the book, and a ghost emoji if you haven't yet. Yay! There's so much girl emojis already. Yay! Actually, they've read it before me, so I'm so
Oh,
glad.
must have been a while then.
Yeah, I think a few months ago. Your
Right.
friend haven't read it, but it's okay. It's fine. You can stay. You can stay. You can
I
definitely
am.
stay. Yeah, okay. They've read it. They've read it. All right.
So
Are there any more would like to put in their answers? Have you read or have you not read the book? So just a few reminders again. The first half of this discussion would be non-spoilery, and then the second half would be the spoilery part. So I'm going to warn you if we're going to the spoilery because it's kind of like a big plot twist, and if you will get spoiled, like you will lose the experience. So yeah, hopefully before that comes, you are encouraged to read the book. So just a few trigger warnings before we start. This book has, of course, it has death. We're gonna talk about death in here. So if you're kind of someone who's triggered by a death of a loved one or a death of a family, so those are the trigger warnings. And then what else is in here in there? Oh, Gerald said na he hasn't read it yet.
you have to read
um
it. Good.
no, don't worry, you're not the only one. It's okay. Wait, so Moe said, did you know a lot of us actually told everyone to read this book immediately after reading? That's why a lot
That's
of people
what people
here
have.
have, yeah,
The
we
power
have
of
a,
influence. The power
yes,
of
the power
influence.
of influence.
Peer
we have
pressure.
a we have a group chat in on Facebook, and then so when we read a book that's really good, we tend to hype it up so that other people
Right.
in that group chat will read it as well.
Cool.
Hello, Donna is also here. So Donna is a friend also of mine from the Philippines, and she's actually the reason why I read the book because she
Oh, I
recommended it.
see. Thank you,
So thank you, Donna, for your recommendation. So yeah. All right,
Donna.
now let's try to give first our overall thoughts about the book without spoiling anything. What's your overall impression before reading it and then after reading the book? So do you have any expectations going into the book, or like have you set an expectation, and then what is your general experience again without spoiling
You know,
anything?
right. So I've heard of Hannah Alkaf's book quite a few times because one of her books, what is it called? The Weight of Our Sky, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
by
I think
Hannah
so.
Alkaf as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
that book is pretty popular, and I've seen it all over Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, literally everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And not gonna lie, I've been quite hesitant about it. I've been putting it off because I don't know why actually. I haven't been, as you can see from all the books behind and like, on my shelves, most of the books that I just buy and I just leave it on my shelf collecting dust. So I don't know what to expect. But once I entered into the universe of the Ghost and the Girl, it gave me a sense of pride because being from Malaysia, I kind of understand certain elements, most of the elements actually from the book because I can relate to it. So when I read it, and it was beautifully written and it was properly explained, and it is exactly like how I imagined it to be in my head,
Mm-hmm.
if you know what I mean, because I can
Mm-hmm.
put myself in Suraya's shoes, setting wise. I know like the paddy field and the the village houses. So, and yeah, I think I enjoyed the book mostly on the how do I explain it? Mostly because of how I could relate to it being a Malaysian. It's yes, like what Kate's saying here, representation. Yes, I felt really proud reading it because knowing that it's written by a Malaysian and it's so well known globally, it gave me a sense of pride reading it. And yeah, I enjoyed it in that sense, if you know what I mean. Yeah. I hope.
Yeah. Actually, I get like the representation whenever you see yourself, especially if the book is, as you said, internationally known or worldwide known. So whenever I read a book that is like a Filipino character or a middle grade that kind of represents who you were when you were a child as a Filipino a Filipino girl, it is really like a sense of pride. And I get what you're trying to say. And I totally get it from like, we're Asians, right? We want
Yeah.
representation every now
Yes.
and then. So I think
Yes.
it's very important. So
Mm,
when I first again I read it because of Donna, my friend, and she was like, because I like books that will make me cry.
uh-huh.
So she was saying that you have to read this book. It's middle grade and it will make you cry. And I've said, okay, I'm gonna put it for the book club so everyone would read it and I will have the discussion and all that. So I have a set of expectations like that I'm going to like it, and also expectation that I'm gonna cry in the book because of the recommendation. And then after reading it, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be my favorite middle grade of the year because of how good it was written. I mean, I was kind of hesitant with Hannah ALKAF because I thought that she was a fantasy writer. And I am not so
Oh,
much into fantasy. So
right.
it's not really my comfort genre. And then I read this book and it was amazing. I mean, oh my God. I love the writing style so much. I cannot stress this enough.
Yeah.
Um, and then, yeah, so the expectations were met and it became one of my favorite books. So, um, Donna said here, Misha, we could relate with buying books.
Right.
Right.
It's kind of different. Like I just keep on buying books and I end up not reading them until much later on. It's like my pocket is collecting dust, my wallet is collecting dust. Literally, I'm like broke because I'm buying
to
books.
be to be honest, yeah. We
I,
tend to do that as well.
yeah.
So yeah, Asian representation,
Right.
right?
Yes.
That's true. So yeah, it's really like something that's heartwarming and overwhelming at the same time. If you read like a book that you see yourself in it, right?
Yeah. You feel like
So good.
that's my people. Like
Yeah.
finally something in book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
finally, you're a character that is non-Western.
Right.
Finally,
Right. I feel like
so
yeah, popular books nowadays, most of them are just they it's not really well diverse, if you know what I
mm-hmm,
mean.
mm-hmm,
It's not properly, and I feel like it's very important to diversify a book because that's how we are. It's we're people
right,
too. We need to be
yeah.
talked about. Yeah, that's
So
good.
true, so true. That is why this is so like uh aside from the fact that Hannah Alkaf is also Malaysian, but also like how she represented your culture with the way that she
Yeah,
writes her books. It's just really so amazing. I'm just really
yeah.
so proud as an Asian as
So
well.
cool.
So Elena said here, I talked about the Malaysian friend about this book and he was so proud that they were represented so good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it was so good. It was so well written, and I love because over here in Malaysia, our culture is very diverse. We come from different cultural backgrounds, and the way that Hannah Alkaf has explained it so well,
Mm-hmm.
and I could actually I agreed with every single thing that she has mentioned in the book because everything
Wow.
was real. Like we would, like for example, we would go to other people's houses, even though they're from different cultural backgrounds. For example, I'm Malay, and I live among like Chinese people, and all of us are like family. We go to
Mm-hmm.
each other's houses very very often, and we would eat each other's food, share food, and just chit chat and everything. It's just it gives yeah, it's very properly written, and I can't stress about how happy it made me reading this kind of stuff because I don't read this kind of stuff very often. So when I read
Mm-hmm.
it, I felt very excited.
True. That is so true. Like for example, if you've seen, I think one of the like common culture that I have observed like from the book and also like what I have experienced in my own country is like how close what do you call it, how close knit or how tight the relationships
Mm,
are even with like neighbors or with your friends from
yeah.
school. It has like a different
Feeling
I don't know, like a different vibe.
right.
Like there's something about when you've read a book that has Asian characters and you have somehow related as an Asian woman
Mm,
as well. So
yeah.
I agree with that. So this is my cousin who's on the comment section. He's
Hi.
asking what country are you from?
Well, I'm from Malaysia. I don't know how
She's from
far we are. Yeah, but I'm from Malaysia.
I don't think it's that very far
We're
because
not.
we have the same time zone, right?
Yeah, yeah. Same time
So
zone.
yeah. So Gerald said it's a big mood. It
Mhm.
means I sorry. he is referring to the one that we were saying earlier about reading a book about a character that is non-Western.
Oh, right. Right, right, right. Yeah.
What a mood. All right. So actually, the next
Oh, it's
question.
far away.
Oh yeah, 4 hours away.
Far away. I've
Yeah.
never been to the Philippines before, but a lot of my family members have been there for
Mm.
work purposes or like for holiday and stuff like that. But I personally, I've never been there. So hopefully, after everything, with the corona and whatever, hopefully I'll be able to come visit one day.
Sure, sure thing. Actually, I had a flight to Malaysia postponed last year,
Oh,
and then
really?
because of the pandemic, it was canceled, and
Oh,
then
God,
we
proud.
rebooked it for this year, but it was canceled again because of
Again.
another
Oh,
variant
yeah, proud. Yeah.
of COVID. So anyway, so hopefully someday when everything's okay, we can meet one another
Yeah, that'd be so
someday at
cool.
some point.
Yeah, that'd be so
Yeah. So, actually, my next question would be how, like, we've already answered it a little bit. How did the book represented your culture? How do you think it was represented? And you've said it already that it's like it's well done. It's a good representation, and you don't see anything wrong with like the
yeah.
how it was written. So I think it's perfect.
Mm.
Now, my next question would be, how do you see yourself to the character of Soraya as a 12-year-old? Like, do you see did you imagine something that, oh, I've experienced this when I was a child, like this girl that she's what she's doing, I know it, I know it from the heart. Did you
Right.
experience something like that as a Malaysian, or just like as a
The,
someone who have gone through this age, or something like that?
um, I would say I relate to Suraya in different aspects of her life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wouldn't. I'm very optimistic, and I think that Suraya is that kind of person as well. Because, okay, I'm not gonna say it because it's gonna be a spoiler. But Suraya is very, her character as a child. She's very happy-go-lucky, and she thinks that everything is all rainbows and sunshine. And she just, even though people do her dirty, it's her motto to not plot revenge on people, even though they've done horrible, horrible things to her. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
that I can relate to her in that sense because she is, she's, yeah, even though people are mean, sometimes I believe that it's just, it's horrible for us to like kind of, do it to them, even though they've done it to us. So I think that I can relate that with Suraya very, very much. And
Yeah.
yeah, growing up, you just want to have fun, in your childhood, you just want to
True.
have fun. And I feel like Soraya is that kind of girl. She just wants to have fun, find friends, be friends with people. But yeah, you know how it goes.
Yeah, yeah. So I forgot to mention earlier, just trigger warning as well for bullying, because there's a
Oh,
lot of bullying in this book.
yeah,
It's kind of if you are going to recommend this to a 12-year-old or a middle grade, this is somehow a little bit sensitive. But yeah, just a few cautions regarding that. But I agree that I love how Hannah ALKAF represented Soraya, someone who doesn't want to take, or who doesn't want to get back to other people, even though she's already she's the victim all the time, like always, and people do bad things to her. There are like some points when I was so frustrated. I just want to say, like, come on, fight back.
yeah,
Come on, Soraya, fight back. You can do this, girl. You're a
yeah,
strong girl. So there are times like I just want her to fight back, because there's just so much. It's just too
yeah,
much for me. I mean, no middle grade, no kid should have
true,
gone through whatever she went through,
yeah,
even with
yeah,
her family, right? With her
yeah,
mom, which
true,
of course we will understand later on, but it's still heartbreaking for a 12-year-old. It's still heartbreaking for a
yeah,
young girl, whatever she's gone through. So, I think one thing that I could relate to Soraya as well is how she always believes in the goodness of other people. Like, she
right,
always believes in, like, she's still a good person, or my mom is still a good mom, or something like that.
yeah,
She doesn't like, though, what do you call that? She doesn't judge people that
yeah,
immediately, and I that's one thing that I like, and I think I see myself in her when I was younger, but right now, of course, and as a young adult, it's somehow different. But
Life
it's still,
changes. Yeah.
yeah, it's still something that I liked about Soraya's character. So with that, we're talking about characters. Let's talk about your favorite character and who is your least like character in the book. So who's your favorite and then who's your least like? Again, without spoiling
Okay,
anything
without
first.
spoiling. Okay. My favorite character has to be Jingwei, who is Suraya's best friend.
Yes.
Jingwei moved to her school and they became friends instantly and they just connected. And I love Jingwei so much because of her, how enthusiastic she is, and
True.
she's just like pop, 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 you know what, if you know what I mean. And she hypes Suraya up, and she's not afraid to say what her mind thinks. So I love Jingwei for that. And my least favorite character, I think it's obvious who. They're not like the main character, but they're like the side character. So I think I obviously have to say Camellia and Divya for obvious
Mm-hmm.
reasons. For
For
obvious
obvious
reasons,
reasons.
right? Yeah. So I'm not gonna spoil much about that. But yeah.
All right. Okay. Perfect. So, I think my favorite character, aside from Soraya, is like it's like automatically you will love her character. But I agree. I really love Jingwei's character so much. It has some fierceness on it, like
Yeah.
assertiveness, and
Yeah.
then she knows what she wants, she knows what's right, she knows her what do you call this, responsibilities and rights as well. Like I liked how Soraya, or I liked how she influenced Soraya to be like this brighter, more positive, more active kind of girl that she could be. And I love the influence that she had on Soraya. So I just really love her character arc so much, and how she like banters with with Pink.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's really funny. One of the funniest things about the
Yeah.
book is how they have this
Sure.
banters.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love Jingwei's character as well. And then the least like character, I think um would be the grandmother. I
Oh,
don't know. I the witch. Well, it makes sense because she's the witch.
wait.
so so I think I just didn't like how there's really no redeeming factor when it comes to their grandmother. Like you wouldn't understand why she's so evil, aside from the fact that she's a witch. But
Yeah.
you really don't. There's like really no reasoning behind her actions that like just really didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. It
So
wasn't
probably
much. Yeah.
yeah. So I really didn't like her character that much, although I appreciate her appearance later on, but it's just like I don't understand. I don't understand what why you're mean. I don't understand why you're so cruel to other
Yeah.
people. I just don't understand it at all. So yeah, Kate said here, you know that meme when where one friend has normal energy and the other friend has
Oh,
crackhead.
yeah. That's them.
That's
That's
them,
them.
definitely.
Right, exactly. Actually,
Like
Soraya,
Soraya,
yeah,
yeah,
Soraya is very calm and
yeah,
collected.
very
I love
chill.
the way talking about Star Wars, and everything is just hilarious. I love it. I love them.
And they were like complimenting each other's personality and energy. It was so good to see. It was really fun, especially on the like last half of it when they were like going into somewhere. It
Mm-hmm.
was just really so so
Yeah,
fun to read. So yeah.
exactly.
So now let's talk about, before we go to the spoilery part. Let's talk about what's your most favorite thing about the book, and could be the reason why other people must read this one. What's your like your most favorite element or most favorite anything that you really liked about it, and um also a way to encourage others to read this book.
Okay. I feel like I spoke about this earlier, but the main one of the main reasons why I would recommend this book is because of the culture. Like what I said earlier, because of how well represented and how well written our culture is in the book. It's so beautiful, and I don't know about you, but um, there were certain slang words and like words that were in Malay, but it wasn't really stated in English. like for example, there were a few words like nasi lemak or like tepi jalan and stuff like that. Those are like Malay words, and I don't know if
Mm.
that can be confusing. Was it confusing for you to read like some parts of it?
Not really. I think whenever Hannah Alkaf mentioned or something like an expression in Malay, she kind of like I get the context from the following sentences or the from the following words. So it's not really that confusing for me. Although somehow when I try to like there are like a few words that I searched, but it's not really that much of
Yeah.
like it didn't take away the context for me. So I
Mhm.
don't think it's that confusing.
Right. Yeah. So those kind of things kind of like gave me, you know, I don't I don't I grew growing up I did read like some Malay novels, but I'm not a big fan of Malay novels now because I'm mostly into English novels. So when I read this book, it's written in English, but there was
Mm-hmm.
some Malay words inside it, and it made me feel like, oh my gosh, this is so cool! Like people can do that, and I enjoyed that aspect because I understand both context, if you understand what I mean, in the
Mm-hmm.
book. So I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the culture, how it was written, the setting, the element, everything. I can imagine it in my head, so I understand how it's what's happening. So I love
Mm-hmm.
that part. So if you're a Malaysian or if you're I feel like Malaysians would enjoy it because we can relate to it, we can understand
Mm-hmm.
it. And then the other thing that I would the other reason why I would recommend this book is because of how Suraya her character has evolved from becoming this small, timid little girl, and she grew up becoming friends. She was bullied and stuff like that. So when she grew up, she met Jingwei, and they kind of like showed the world who they really were, and that friendship and family. And if you're into that kind of stuff, then this book is definitely for you.
Yeah.
It's good. It's
Yeah,
good.
I just agree with that. But anyway, before I answer that question, Donna said here, Nasi Lamak is
Nasi
so
lemak,
good.
yes, it's amazing. I love nasi
Excuse
lemak.
me.
Favorite.
I think she's been to Malaysia already.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, I
so
think.
cool.
Yeah, because she said earlier, I love going
Oh,
to Malaysia.
so cool.
And then Kate also
Nice.
said like when we read like words that we don't understand in a certain culture, it's just really context clues are really helpful. And that
Yeah,
is why I think it's very important for authors to also like give um it's like it's so cool when like our native tongue are being used in
um,
literature, but also it's so great when authors like put context clues here and
explain
there or explain it a little bit without really
that
spoon
without just saying
feeding.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's really nice. There's also a question from Donna, but later on I'm gonna do that for you. But one thing that I really loved about this, of course, the culture, the Asian culture, that this book is very unapologetic for being Malay and
yeah,
for representing the folklore, and I just really love that about it. And then a friend of mine actually told us a few weeks ago that if you've read The Girl in the Ghost, it would somehow help you to understand other books by Malaysian author. I am not sure which books is she referring to. If Moe is here, she's the one that I'm talking about. She said that she understood other Malaysian related books because she first read The Girl in the Ghost. And I think that's a good way to start understanding a culture by starting like in middle grade books or
yeah.
starting from lighter books in that represents that culture. So
Mhm.
I think that's my most favorite thing about this book is how it explains your culture without really intimidating us or without really confusing us. So it was a really nice it was well written. I just love it. And because of that, I ordered the other book of Hannah Alkaf. I forgot the title. Wait for the sky
Going
or
up on
something like
Friday.
that.
Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Because I found out that it's not fantasy. It's actually historical fiction. So
Yes,
I'm
yes.
so excited for that.
I heard of it,
Anyway,
but
Donna said it was Zencha's novels The Night Tiger. Have you read it?
I haven't like I said, this is bad. Like maybe I should get into it. I haven't read much from Malay authors. So I think this is one of the Malay English novels written by Malay authors. I haven't read much. I think this is the
Mhm.
first book by a Malay
Wow.
author in English
Mhm.
that I've read, and it's actually a good start for me to like start exploring more into this thing. Start
Mhm.
supporting Malaysian authors, and I think that yeah, I haven't heard of Zencho, but I'll look into the books
All right,
definitely.
no problem. We in the Philippines we're kind of big with like Asian literature, so we tend to search for Asian literature
That's
every now
so
and then.
cool. That's
So
so
that's why we have like a list of authors that we'd like to read. So Sentra is one, and then she has two other books that I want to read, but then I am kind of hesitant because I think it's both fantasy. The other one is horror or something like
cool.
that.
Right.
So yeah, I'm excited for that. Anyway, this is the question for you earlier, and probably you can answer a little bit of it. What other aspects of Malaysian culture do you want to see in books? Do you have anything in mind?
Um. hmm. I don't know. On the top of my head right now, I just feel like this book is the perfect example when it comes to like this question, because I feel like everything was is perfectly explained, and it was so well written in detail, and I just feel like nothing can ever top this book. But I feel like other aspects of Malaysian culture. Um, I would say, okay, so for example, maybe we have a lot of festive celebrations over
Mm-hmm.
here. And for example, like Chinese New Year. I'm not Chinese, but I still celebrate Chinese New Year with my friends. I go to my friend's house and we would celebrate. I mean, pre-pandemic, of course, but we would celebrate it together. And I feel like it's gonna be cool if we were to like read it instead of we it's usually shown in movies and TV series, not that much in books. I mean, not that I know of, but I feel like that's gonna be cool. Like yeah, like festivals in yeah,
Mm-hmm.
national festivals, and how we would visit each other and eat each other's cultures of food and just talk about our history, our background, and stuff like that. I think that's gonna be a cool addition to
To other,
Asian.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So, if any of our viewers know any Malaysian centered books that have like festivals, you can drop some recommendations
Yeah,
in
that
case
was
there is. But if not, then hopefully there would be someday. Just an information from Kate. So Zancho is a Malaysian Chinese author. So her latest book,
oh,
Blackwater Sister, is set in Malaysia. That's cool. Oh, but that is the horror one.
oh,
So
that's
if you want, if you do you read horror? I rarely read horror, but I'd like to start.
I
No.
like freaked out. That's why when you mentioned about the girl and the ghost, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the ghost. But then it's not scary, so it was fine. But I'm not into horror that much. But maybe I can check it out and see.
All right. So that's actually perfect. You've mentioned Chinese New Year earlier. We actually celebrate it as well in the Philippines. Like we
Oh,
have,
I didn't know that.
yeah, we like it's
That's
every
so cool.
February, right? I forgot
Yeah,
the date.
February,
It's
late January,
somewhere
February.
there.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah,
like.
we're
And then
also kind of big with like Chinese traditions, and I don't
oh,
know why, but
cool.
it's so funny that we celebrate the same
That's
same festival.
cool. That's so cool.
So yeah, it's so cool. Anyway, they said in here, I would love to see Malaysian festivals, so forth, and books.
Oh,
It sounds so
it
cool. I
sounds so cool,
agree.
right?
And then Donna said, imagine Filipino Malaysian festivals and
Yeah,
books
it'll be so
also.
cool.
Yeah, that would be so
Me
cool. And
too.
I'd love to read that. I would love to read that. Anyway, right now let's try to do and jump into the spoilery part. So in here, if you haven't read the book, maybe you can go out now. Thank you so much for watching the live. But you can leave. We're not gonna get mad at you because everything that we're gonna talk about here onward is about the plot twist and how the book ended and how do we feel about it. So again, if you haven't read it, you can go out. Please do not spoil yourself because it's a really really good plot twist. I didn't even think about it. I there's like no expectation. So yeah, so we're gonna talk about the spoilery part. So please go. And if you have read the book, please stay and answer. You can also, guys, answer the questions on the comments if you have answers to every question that we have. So anyway, let's move on. So again, this is going to be spoilery part. So my first ever question for you is, did you expect the plot twist, or were you surprised? What's your reaction with like the revelations in the conclusion part? I'm looking forward to know your answer.
I had to reread the chapter again because I was like, I thought, okay, at first I kind of like um at first I thought that the mother turned into a ghost. And I'm like, wait, how did the mother turned appeared at the cemetery that fast? And I'm like, wait, did she turn into a ghost? Did she die and I didn't know? But then it turned out to be, her physical self there. And yeah, I had to reread it again to properly understand. And when when I think that was his line, Suraya kept on repeating her. Wait, I'm allowed to say it now, right? I'm allowed to spoil
Yes,
it now.
yes, go.
Right. So the part where Suraya had to repeat her brother's name again and again, and she was like, "Wait, this makes sense now. Why does this name sound so familiar?" And I was like, "Wait, who's her brother again? Who is her brother?" That is just, I did not expect that at all, And I'm like, "Whoa, it was a shock. I wasn't expecting it at all."
Yeah, same. I agree. And Kate also said she wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. When I was reading the book, there are like I don't know. I don't have any theories. I don't have any, like, I didn't speculate anything. I thought it's just gonna be heartbreaking because for sure there's gonna be um confrontation with Soraya and her mom. It's gonna happen
Yeah,
somehow because of like the way that the plot has been going through already. I know that there's going to be a confrontation scene, and I thought that's what's gonna make me cry. And then
yeah.
there was this plot twist that I wasn't expecting. Like, what, brother? What are you talking about?
Whose brother?
Whose brother again? Like, there was no mention of brother even
Yeah.
from the beginning, but it makes sense because the perspective was from Soraya and Pink. So there
Mm,
was really no, like, they both don't know about like the brother, or like
mm.
the brother that has passed away. So I wasn't expecting, and I had like goosebumps when I
Oh,
realized that the ghost was that brother. Oh my god, I cried so
yeah.
much.
I
I
did expect that.
Yes, I screamed. Kate said scream, and then Donna cried. I also cried. I cried. I want to cry all over again. No one saw. Sorry, no one saw it coming. But Hannah Alkaf pulled out that plot twist
She
card.
did.
It
She did.
was like she really did a great job. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't have anything. Like, I didn't think anything about that's gonna
Yeah.
happen. And then
I wasn't expecting it at all.
even though when they already arrived in the cemetery, like, I didn't even think about it. Like, I didn't know that
Mhm.
the ghost is gonna be, or Pink is gonna be the one that they're gonna look for, or like the body that they're going to look for in the cemetery. So it was really, oh my god, it was a good plot twist.
It was.
One of the best plot
I
twists.
enjoyed it. It
It
was
was a
so unexpected. I
it
did actually.
was totally unexpected. Kate said Hannah Alka drinks her tears, and I cried so much. One thing also that really surprised me was the reason why her mother is always like slouching or crouching or something like that. Like,
Because
she
of
was,
the
because the
yeah.
soul,
Yeah.
is it right? The soul of her brother. Oh my god, that blew my mind away. I
Oh,
was crying so hard for her mom. I was
I
like
was
so mad.
I
I
didn't
was so mad at her mom.
I just thought that, oh, maybe she's growing old and her back is slouchy. I
Yes,
like her
yes,
carrying the soul of her brother. Oh
yes. And
wow.
and I was like, oh, maybe she's that cold to Soraya because her mother is also like a cruel witch or something like that. Maybe it was in her genes to be that cruel or something. But I didn't expect it to be like that. Oh my god, it was really mind blowing.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
like a more wholesome version of the movie.
Mhm.
Have you watched Shutter
I,
the movie?
I
Is it
haven't. What is it
is
about?
it it's a horror, it's a horror
Oh,
movie.
that
I
I
forgot, is
forgot
it
about it.
Japanese or Korean? I forgot what kind or the what movie it is. But I remember this movie and it was like had so much goosebumps because the ghost was on the shoulders of the person, and it was like it's
Oh,
scary. Okay, it's
I,
scary,
I,
but
I don't watch scary movies. I get creeped out. Oh,
oh, it's Thai. It's Thai. I forgot. I totally forgot.
oh,
Yeah.
that's scary.
So right now, but this book is very wholesome. And
It
instead of
is.
like getting scared, I just really cried. I cried.
I didn't, I wasn't scared except for the moments when like the Pawang suddenly appeared.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, the Pawang suddenly appeared behind them and be like, "Fancy seeing you here, girls," and I just get creeped out over that because I can.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
I think
powwow.
yes.
What do you think about the powwow? Is it something that you like really believe in the Malay culture?
Um, I I mean, I think back in the olden days, there were a lot of pawangs, and people kind of like believed in like these kind of things. I mean, in the olden days, now
Mm-hmm.
not so much. I think because like we're modernized now,
Mm-hmm.
and people will shut you down if you say you believe in ghosts. If you know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
So like I have never came across a pawang or like whatever, but I think it was. I know that there are pawangs, and even until now, but they're just not. There wasn't like as many as there was before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or as like more believable than it was like
Yeah.
before. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I really think it goes with like how the society evolves, but it just like it's just really so cool to read it in a book that is written in right now, like in the 21st century or whatever.
Oh,
Donna said pawang sounds like aswang. So aswang is like a Filipino term for, I don't know, is it monsters in our culture? Can you help me out,
oh.
friends? So aswang is like monsters. um I don't know how to explain it, but it sounds
like,
similar. So we
like,
thought maybe it's similar.
oh,
It
is it like mythical creatures and oh vampire?
vampire. Yeah, some is it like exactly a vampire? I no, I don't know. But
Oh,
it's
okay.
like it's they're humans, but they have like they're
Yeah.
monsters.
We have Malaysian aswangs too, but we call it over here. We call it Pontianak. Pontianak.
Puntiana.
Pontianak. It's vampires. They're typically they're like women, and they scare you, and they have long hair and long nails, and it was
Oh.
mentioned in the book actually. Pontianak
Mm-hmm.
and Langsui. It was mentioned in the book. Yeah, Pontianak Langsui. Yeah.
Yeah, is this a sorry,
Yeah,
the spelling?
that's how you spell it and you pronounce it. Pontiana.
Oh, there's a movie called Pontiana on Netflix. I haven't saw it. Is it a horror movie?
Usually, I mean, Pontiana is a horror mythical kind of thing. So I
Mhm.
I think it's a horror movie. I don't know. I don't like indulge myself in horror movies.
Into horror, yeah, right. But it's fun to read it in middle grade. But I think if we're going to do like a serious horror book with like mythical creatures or horror, it's gonna be scary as hell. I can't do it. It is horror. Kate said
Yeah.
it's horror. So
Uh,
yeah, it's fun. All right. So it's just really actually one of the things that I was so interested about is like the mythical creatures in the book. It's somehow sounded similar, but I don't know if like Malaysian culture or Filipino culture have the same like definition or description, but it was really, really nice.
like I don't know if you know like I feel like vampires, they differ in different continents. Like for example,
Mm-hmm.
here in Asia, we see vampire as, I mean, in a Malaysian context, we see vampires as, the scary lady with long hair, long nails or whatever. And then in the US, vampire is Edward Cullen. So
Oh
there's like
yeah.
two different things on how people see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Siko. So yeah,
Yeah, that's why it's really cool to see it in a book or in a movie. Like it's like the differences. So we really don't have like vampires per se in the Philippines, but yeah, we have like aswang. We have different, like we have also a lot of horror myth creatures or something like that.
uh,
Are like beast in most Asian culture. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah,
In the
yeah.
West, there's sex. This is so I can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. So when there's like a vampires in Asia, it's like scary and dirty and
Yeah,
gross and all that stuff. But in Western, it's like a different story.
yeah.
We don't know. We cannot relate to the
Yeah.
vampires that you're talking about.
Right.
But yeah, the last question before we go to the overall, this is really fun to
Yeah.
to talk about. But we move on. Do you think the writing style or the way that Hannah Alkaf wrote this book is perfect for middle grades? Do you see like Malay middle graders or 12-year-old Malaysian girls would relate to this book and understand it? Do you think it's perfect for its target audience?
I think yeah. Hannah
Mm-hmm.
Alkaf, her writing is very um it suits children, I would
Mm-hmm.
say, because at times it can get very poetic because of Pink would like insert very interesting quotes, like oh, I actually highlighted a lot from my book. I'll Let me check if I can find some. But
Go.
uh, he said that, I don't know, there's a lot of very inspiring quotes that he said.
Mm-hmm.
Like okay,
It's
I
actually
need to,
it's actually cool to like when a ghost advises to this young girl. Like
yeah,
it's not scary in the sense that the ghost was like really a friend to
yeah,
Soraya, and I think that what makes it perfect in my opinion, perfect for middle grade because of how it's like ghosts are not scary, but they can be a friend or they can be like someone
yeah.
that you can be civil with. So I think that's a good message as well. Did you find the quotes that you're looking for?
I found one. This was said by Suraya
Mm-hmm.
when her mother told her the truth about like what actually happened. So she said that, but Mama, broken mothers raise broken daughters.
Oh yeah.
Do you not see how we could have filled the parts the other was missing, been stronger together? And I just feel like, whoa,
Oh, that hits.
that's I it's I mean, it's very, because imagine your 12-year-old daughter saying that to you. I would feel very like hurt and be like,
Yeah.
whoa, okay, my daughter said that to me. I guess I have to like do something about it. And I just feel like, nothing could have, Hannah Alkaf just explained it so well, and
Mhm.
I managed to. It impacts her readers for sure.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I remember that quote. I like put a tab on it, but I just forgot to bring my book. But
Wow.
I remembered how powerful that quote is. Like
Yeah.
broken mothers raise broken
Okay.
daughters.
Work it
Yeah.
out this.
Oh my god, that's so okay. That's so good. It's so good. I'm sorry. I
Um,
I I just love
another
Hannah Alka's writing style so much.
Yeah, and another quote that I just found. It was of, how Suraya, she likes to draw using,
Mm-hmm.
she likes to draw. And this one time she stopped drawing using pencils and crayons. So she drew using like black ink. And like if you draw using like a pen, it's very hard for you to erase it. And if you make a mistake, you know.
Mm-hmm.
and Pink asked like Suraya, but what if you make mistakes? Because she used like the black ink, and she said there are never mistakes, only chances to make something new. And that was I like that quote very very much. Yeah.
I loved it. I also loved it. Like there's so much quotes in this book that is written in a way that even middle grade would definitely understand, and I just
Yeah.
loved it about it. That is
Yeah.
why I found that Hannah Alkaf's writing style is just really so good. I really liked it because of how she explained things. I don't know how to explain it in a way that's, you know, that I could justify it, but I just couldn't. And yeah, so me as well, I think that it's perfect for middle grade. I've read a couple of middle grades already. I love middle grade as a whole age level. I collect middle grade books, and I think she is one of the authors that I think that could explain and somehow remind or redefine certain concepts to middle graders, and I just think that's very very important, and I
Yeah.
love how she did it in this book. It was so good.
Yeah.
This is my favorite middle grade of this year, I swear. I just loved it, and I just want to read it again, but I don't want to get hurt and I don't want to cry again. But it was so good. It was so good. Anyway, this is gonna be the last one. What's our overall thoughts and what's your final rating of the book? So just like the general overall thoughts. If you have anything else to add, and also what is your rating of the book? Go ahead.
I rated it on Goodreads. I rated it a five out of five. I couldn't find a single flaw in her writing. I
Mm-hmm.
just feel that it's easy for me to understand her words. So like that's why it's another reason why it's perfect for middle graders. It's not something that you have to like unsolve it by yourself, because everything is just so simple. Even it's simple yet beautifully written.
Mm-hmm.
And
Same.
I yes, yes, like what
Same.
Donna. I agree with you. Like it's very simple but very very poetic, and it it has made its own impact on me as a reader. Even though like I'm 19, I still feel like I'm in Suraya's shoes during her whole adventure in the book, and I love that. And what else do I want to add? I think overall I loved how they got to how Pink got his final happy ending as well, because Pink got to reunite with his soul, with his body at the grave.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of like gave me a good it made me satisfied, because now I know that Pink is finally safe somewhere, and Suraya can move on with her life with her mother, because she knows everything about her past now, like what happened to who her grandma is, and what happened to her brother, and everything is just I feel very satisfied once I finish the
Mm-hmm.
book, because everything is just answered. So I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. So, I'm just very, when I love a book, I don't shut up about it. So my friends already know that I really, really, really love this book. And again, it's gonna be my favorite middle grade of the year so far. So I don't think that it's gonna be dethroned on that part. But I just really love it. I think I love the writing style, the atmosphere, how the author again redefined what is ghost for me. I
Mhm.
mean, when you hear ghost, it's like a scary creature, a scary an evil being. But then because of her the way that she wanted to portray Pink in the story, it's kind of like redefining what is ghost for you. Like also a reminder that not everything is evil around you, or also a
Yeah.
reminder that you shouldn't believe everything that you hear from like the hearsay or something like that. So I love that element. I love how she incorporated her culture in the book. I just love it so much, even though again there are things that I don't understand, but it's part of learning, and it's part of trying to figure it out by yourself. So I just really love that about it.
Yeah.
What else? writing style, the plot, it was so good. The plot twist, it was so
Oh,
good. It
yeah,
was well done. It was really really good. And then the characters are so good. They're complementing one another, and I just loved how the arc of mother in the story was redeemed in the book. I just
yeah,
loved it because the previous book that I've read before this was, or the middle grade book that I've read before this was Brother's Keeper by Min Jin Lee. So that's a middle grade book by a Korean author.
hmm.
So the mother there was really cruel to her what do you call this, to her daughter, because
Oh,
in Korean and in Japanese and Chinese culture, somewhat like that, like daughters are kind of like inferior when it comes to like sons, right?
oh,
So
right.
like in their culture, the mothers are kind of, or the family per se, are kind of cruel to the daughters. So in that book, I felt it all throughout, and I was so mad at her mom in
Oh,
Brother's Keeper, and
right.
she wasn't redeemed for me at least. And then I read this book and I said, "Oh my god, there's another cruel mother in this book. I cannot take it anymore." There's another cruel mother. I don't like it when mothers are cruel because it's so heartbreaking as
Yeah.
someone who, as Asian
Oh,
children or Asian
I,
girls, we love our mothers, right?
we
So
do.
I hate it. I hate that feeling. But then when Hannah Alkaf turned everything around, like 360 degree, the mother was redeemed in my
Yeah,
eyes. So I just really loved it. I just loved how the conclusion, the plot, the setting, it was really good. It was
yeah,
it was both fun but also like informative for me as a reader. And if you're not from Malaysia, I think this is a good start to try
yeah,
to
definitely.
understand Malay culture, especially if like you're non-Asian, especially if from the West or from other countries that are not part of the Asian continent. I think it's a good start on understanding Asian culture. And I,
Culture.
and I, I hope that more people would read the book, or
Yeah,
more people would find this book and spread it to
out in the
others,
world.
because
Yeah.
it's really 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 good. So yeah, I don't rate books, but it's definitely a favorite book of mine. I mean, I my friends already know this. They will say that you don't shut up. So we know. So anyway, before I end this, just a reminder that next month, which is tomorrow, supposed to be, it's gonna be August,
Goodness, is
and
tomorrow, August.
yeah, it's gonna be August 1st. And then every August of the year we celebrate Philippine national language. It's called Buwanang Wika in the Philippines. So
Oh,
we Kate, who is one of our viewers earlier pa, she has a readathon wherein she would like to celebrate Filipino authors. So it's like a readathon for the month long of August, wherein we read books by Filipino authors. So with
oh,
that, for August, the book pick for In Cosmic Dreams is The House That Lou Built by May Respicio. So May Respicio is a Filipino author as well. I think she's based in the US. I'm not sure, but I think she's based in the US. But this book is also like available internationally, and this is a middle grade contemporary, and it is set in the Philippines as far as I know. So
that's
I
so
think it
cool.
has like festival kind of vibe,
Oh,
because like the
I should,
cover, I
I
also
should.
forgot. Yeah, so this is gonna be the book pick for August, and the live show will be on the end of August as well. I hope, Misha, you could also read this book probably if you
Sure.
have
Yeah,
more time
definitely.
when
Yeah.
you're not writing your your
On my
novel, or when you're not writing anything,
yeah.
or if you're not busy, you can definitely check this out. It is by a Filipino author, and the characters are Filipino. So
That's so cool.
I'm super duper excited about this book. I hope that you guys could also join us next time. Thank you so much to Misha for agreeing. Thank you.
Thank you for
Like
having me. It's such a pleasure. I love it. I love being here.
I I love that discussion. I really love that when I learn from other culture, and then when I get to talk to other people from that culture. So thank you again. I think um I think the audience or the viewers also enjoyed the discussion, especially for those who have read the book. I think we kind of understood it because of this discussion, and we really appreciate. Thank you for your time. It's more than an hour, but yeah,
Thank you for
you're
having
still,
me. It's been fun.
yeah.
I love being here. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Thank you. So again, if you have like do you have anything to promote or something like your channel, or if you have any projects that isn't coming or something like that, go ahead.
What is that for? Oh, I have a book out. I think I mentioned this. I have a book out. You can get it on Apple iBooks or Barnes and Nobles. It's digitally published. It's a poetry book. It's called From Seed to Flower, and it's been out since February. So if you
Wow.
want to check it out, check it out. I have the paperback. It's behind in my shelf. Yeah.
Is it okay if you get it so we can check the
Oh,
cover?
sure. Let me just close my camera for a while because wait, is it
Uh,
okay if I close my camera for?
yeah, no problem.
Okay, give me a second.
All right. Wait.
Okay, I'm back.
All right.
So this is the book. I don't know if you can see.
Wow. Is that a poetry?
Yeah, it's a poetry book. Yeah, I don't know if
All
you can see
right.
it. Yeah, it's a poetry book. You can get it online. So
Yay. All right. Sorry, what's your name as an author on the book?
it's Misha Dahlia. Misha
Oh
Dahlia.
yeah, Misha Dahlia. Right. I'm
Yeah.
trying to search it right now. From seed
Uh,
two again. Seed two.
from seed to flower.
All right. Searching it now. Okay.
That's
I
so
think I
sweet.
found it.
All
Misha.
right.
Yeah, and you are writing another book, right?
Yeah, I'm writing a novel right now. I'm almost halfway there. I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm gonna have it published. I was planning on having it published on Amazon, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm feeling
Yeah, all right. We're
oh,
gonna try to, if you have published it, don't hesitate to buzz me so that we can spread the news.
of course.
Uh
Thank you. It's so sweet.
Hi,
Hi,
Jasmine. Awesome.
Jasmine. Oh, she's my friend.
Hello. Heartwarming and heart wrenching at the same time. Hello. I think these are your friends. Hello. Thank you for tuning in.
Hi, Ali.
Shed a few tears. Oh, okay. I love books that will make me tear up a little bit. So I'm gonna check that out. So yeah. So again, Misha, thank you so much for agreeing
Thank
to
you
this.
for
Thank you
having
for your
me.
time. And
Thank
thank you to
you.
everyone who tuned in since an hour ago. Thank you for your comments. And if you're watching this on replay, again, do not forget to check the links on the description box. All our socials are there. And do not forget the book pick for August so you can join us again next time around. So that's it. We're going to end the live now. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye. Good
Have a
night.
good night. I'm going
Bye.
to end the broadcast. All right. Ending it.